Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Ace Racing League Championship. My name is Samad Halafi, and I'll be your commentator today. Today, we're at Imola for the San Marino Grand Prix. This has a total of 17 turns with a total length of 4.9 kilometers. The first race here was held in April of 1953. This was a MotoGP motorcycle race. 10 years later, in the same month of April 1963, Formula One came to Imola. This race was won by Jim Clark, who was famously known for having one of the best drives ever and was driving for Lotus at the time. Today, we'll be having a Formula 3 race of 24 laps. Who could also forget that in the year of 1994, the famous and world legend Ayrton Senna died at turn 4. The compound we'll be using in this medium the compound we'll be using is the medium compound. Let's go over the standings. As you can see here, Vladislav Muchalenko is still leading the championship with a lead of 44 points. Following on P2 is the young Dutchman Stijn Prins. He's doing his very best to catch up with Vladislav, which he has an amazing last race. David is also in the top 3. On P3, the midfield is very close. Take a look at the position 12 till 17. They all have 12 points. In this list, we can also see that David Beckman, the real-life Formula 3 driver that got pole in Monaco yesterday. We're very pleased to have you in our league. Ik wist niet dat hij echt een racer was, what the fuck? Here we are at practice on board with Arnold Zwart, who's just gone off into the gravel. Sadly, normally what I would do before every race we have, I'd like to go out and have a lap of myself or do a race to have some visualization with the track itself, and then I can commentate better. But Imola sadly isn't on F1 2018. And sadly also do not have a set of courses so I could have my own go at it. But what I do know is that it's hard, very, very hard. As you can see Arno as well going along into turn 2 and 3 and exiting at turn 4 at Tamburello. Bit of history lesson here. Ayrton Senna died at turn 4, which usually, as you can see right now, has, as of today, turn 2, 3 and 4 is all connected in one big corner. Back in the old days, it was just one big corner, so Ayrton was going down there at 180 miles an hour and just his left front suspension failed and he just smashed into that wall. It was very faithful and inevitable happening, and he just sadly died over there. But anyway, thank God we're just doing simulators today, and he's gone off. The problem over there is because you're going uphill and that corner is quite slow, you just have a bit less downforce coming at you, and the front wheels just don't grip that much. On board here with Nicolai Nageveld, who is just exiting turn 4 and coming along now to turn 5 and 6, called Villeneuve. I hope we have a race in Canada later this year. Vladislav Muchalenko just put a lap down at 1 minute 35.472. Bit of bumpy over there, and now he is here trying to not spin as Arnold as well just did. Was it Arnold as well? I don't know. Who cares? We're just here in practice and we're just trying to do our very best. I'd like to inform race control to stop breathing into the mic. That's better. And he's just exiting the last few corners for a lightning lap of the San Marino Grand Prix. see cars on the right just preparing to exit the grid. Nikolai Lagaveld goes along the lines of 1 minute 37.609. Vladislav Michulienko just improved by a 1 minute 33.014. Very, very fast. Now we're here following Vladislav Michulienko. And he's just gone off. What just happened? What just happened over there? Huh. Maybe it was in the slipstream going through a turn and he didn't have the enough aerodynamic grip. Jack Smith just put down a 1 minute 33.908. Only like 9/10 of a second slower than Vladislav Michulienko, but that is close to him. He's just gone onto the grass. I think he has some problems with his steering because he's all over the place right now. You can see the details on these cars. You can see inside the helmet of Vladislav Michulienko. On board with last race winner Jack Smith, who's wow, what a name. In turn 9 and 10 of Acqui Minerali. Bloody hell, what a name. Who's just exiting turn 10 and coming along into a small straight cut and then into turn 11 and 12, Variante Alta. Michael Schumacher actually went through that corner with a lot of oversteer and actually missed out on pole position, but to me, that was one of the best laps ever. Because you could see real close up that a car was going at full speed in Formula 1. You had the perfect point of reference to realize how fast those cars are going. Oh my god, who is that? Who is that, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody's just been into the slipstream of Jack Smith and did not have enough aerodynamic grip. As you can see, the crowd is going wild. And here we have Stijn Prince, who's just going for a flying lap right now. On board with him. My screen has just gone black, but I assume he's coming up to turn 2 and 3, where you go quite hard on the brakes. And into Traguiardo, turn 3 and turn 4 out of Tomberello. Flat on there, with the beautiful Eindhoven livery there. Into turn 5 and 6 called Villeneuve. Going as fast as he can into the long hairpin called Tossa. Oh my god, he just ruined his lap. Was that the same driver who just spun in the clip we just saw? I think Stijn Prince is very furious. Yes, it is. I just heard from Race Control that is the same driver who just spun in the previous onboard video. Back to Hasselverheyen, who had a quite interesting last race. Here he is with a bit of traffic in front of him. Ooh! He's gone off. What I remember from an old Top Gear episode is when you go through turn 1 and 2, it's from turn 17, which is the final corner, up to turn 1 and 2. It's supposed to be straight, but it isn't. It's a curve. And when you want to go on the brakes, you want to be straight. Otherwise, the car will just swap ends. And when you're going from turn 1 and 2, which is a small straight, you're actually going at a curve. So when you're on the brakes, you're actually braking sideways. So that's where you have to really have your talent and skills. So Jack Smith has just gone onto the grass. What a surprise. This track is really unforgiving. I can assure you that track is really unforgiving. Noah Schneider. Oh, bloody hell, it was Noah. Noah is sadly not having the best last few races, but I hope he can do his best in this race today, because he is a man who can show off some good racing. And he's a nice man, I know him. Noah is deciding to go into the middle of the corner and going for a late apex, as it seems. Listen to that engine going into those RPMs. Into turn 5, 6 at Villeneuve. Ooh, there it goes again. Bit too late into the apex and it just spits you out like that. There are only 3 drivers who have just put down a lap. And it's Vladislav Muchlienko, Jack Smith, and Nikolai Nagelveld. Coming up now to turn 8 called Piratella. Bloody hell, what a name. Downhill from here and into the right-hander of turn 9 called Acque, and then turn 10 Minerali. Just seems like mineral water, as you would read right here. I do know a bit of Italian, but it seems like it just says mineral water. Coming up now into turn 11 and 12. Very, very, very careful through there. Doing his absolute best because the car tried to overstay over there. Downhill again up to turn 13 and 14. Called Richard Hammond actually went off because his car tried to swap ends over there when he tried to brake into the corner. Rivazza is turn 14, and he's gone off again. What is going on with Noah Schneider? I think he's applying Sebastian Vettel's techniques over there. Wah 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 sound coming along. Mission Spin Out just put down a lap of 2 minutes 13.331. What a name. What an irony. Maxime Bariri put down a lap of a 1 minute 36.351, dividing Jack Smith and Nikolai Nagelveld. 2 minutes left of practice. Mahia Badita on board with him now. Coming out of turn 7 called Tossa. Trying to keep the language as PG3 as possible. That's not how PG works, does it? Never mind. Coming up now to turn 8 called Piratella. Beautiful camera view coming on into Acque and Minerali. Turn 9 and 10. Flat on the power there, but not too much that you just don't spin all over the place. How is he going to handle turn 11 and 12? Because that is the penultimate corner. Very wide on. We're getting a session restart. Is telling race control us. 50 minutes on the clock again, because drivers are still not ready for qualifying, because that was way too difficult for them. Probably because they are unfamiliar with the track, or the track is just too difficult to race. Spin out, going out for an out lap. You can see the drivers leaving the pits. Bit of someone locking up onto the brakes. You can see them weaving, trying to get as much temperature into the brakes right there. And into the tires as well. Into turn 7, overtaken by, I think that is Jack Smith in his car. I think he wants a clean field, and that's why he goes up front. I've just realized something. I've read out into the introduction of the championship that David Beckman, is a German driver. Well, obviously, if you look at his name, it sounds German. David Beckman. I guess you pronounce it like that. Mission Spinner has just stopped. Excuse me, I was... I'll interrupt my story about that. Just to see that Mission Spinner has just stopped. But what an interesting tactic over there. Drivers are now ending their out lap and going for their full timing lap. DRS open through there. On board with Danger Chicken. Here you can see the difficult turn 1, 2 and 3. Drivers try to stay as much in the middle, much to the left as possible, so they can have a good apex on the exit. Coming now to turn 5 and 6 called Villeneuve. Very hard into the left and right hander. Not too much on the brakes because otherwise you'll spin the car around. Someone has just gone off into the gravel right there, but I realized that. I think he might be realizing that he has enough time in practice to do another lap. Down into turn 8, onto the curbs. Ooh, the car was just... He was just a passenger over there, but managed to recontrol it into turn 9 and 10 right there. Very hard on the brakes. Ooh, someone has just gone off. I think that is race control. If you can have some information of who that was. That was Nicolai Nagelveld, who has just gone off into turn 11 and 12. Very, very careful on the exit. Slow and fast out, I imagine. Coming down to turn 13 and 14. Spit of flame of the car, very hard into the left-hander, glowing brake discs. Turn 14 and 15, Kolrivatsa on the exit, trying to go as fast as possible. Cross the line in. A 1 minute 38.592. Jack Smith just put down a 133.366. Stijn Prins just put down a 134.35. Maxim Badidi a 136.055. Race control, if we could have a name of P4. Oh, here he is on board with him. Jua Tambwe. Very interesting name. Which spin out is on 1 minute 38.332. And Data Chicken on P6 in a 1 minute 38.592. He's in a train right there. We're trying to do his absolute best. I think he just braked off and let the train in front of him and the traffic just go away. John Dunboy comes across the line in a 1 minute 38.569. Vladislav Machulienko just improved his time by a 1 minute 32.917. Very fast lap. That's the fastest lap he's just had. Nicolai Nagelveld just improves to the 1 minute 37.051. Someone who's just gone off the track and stays over there. Bloody hell, Vladislav just going absolutely right at it. We're having a view right now of turn 7. Ooh, I think he just made a mistake because he's more than half a second off his fastest time. David Beckman in 1 minute 30 in P4 with a 1 minute 34.644. I expect to see some improvement of him now in P5. And Vladislav Mudjianko has just spun round. What has gone wrong? I expect some improvement of him because what I was going earlier on about is that David Beckman is actually a Formula 3 driver. Like an actual Formula 3 driver who had pole position yesterday in Monaco. I'm not making this up. This is on my paper and I just googled it. He's an actual Formula 3 driver. Yes, I'm surprised as you are. And someone in the background who's just gone off, but surprisingly it's not Noah Schneider. Thank God for that, because I think he can improve any moment now. Right now we're just following Nicolai Nagelveld. Have I been calling him Nicolai Nagelveld the entire time? Yes, I have. Nicolai Nagelveld trying to do an outlap right now. Ooh, just avoiding that car over there. There is a lot of traffic. And I hope some drivers at least will do their very, very best to just keep a clean race today. Because it would be an absolute shame if the cars just keep on crashing everywhere. Into turn 2 and 3 as slick as possible. Back to Luca Den Hartog in the blue car, staying quite far to the right by my sense. Ooh, the car twitching and turning over at turn 4. On board here right now, trying to go as quickly as possible into turn 5 and 6. Is he going to manage to keep the car under control? Yes, he does. Coming up to turn 7, which is a very long and slow left-hander. Very far on the late apex there. How will he manage turn 9 and 10? That is the question. We've seen top drivers and midfield drivers and back markers spin there all the time right today. Will he manage? Will he manage? Yes, he does! Very hard on the brakes. There he is. Good man. Good on Luca Den Hartog. He has a bit of a slipstream with the driver in front. I think I might just go for a quick lap. Into the left-hander, into the right-hander of turn 11 and 12. And he's lost it! Too early on the power. I've spoken too soon. I'm sorry. I've spoken way too soon. Look at Den Hartog spawns back into the pits. And Jeff Jacobs in a 1 minute 33.602. Me and Race Control were going on earlier if he was either from Limburg, the southern part of the Netherlands, or he's Belgium. Well, there is also a part in Belgium called Limburg, which is a province. Great driver. He actually had a very beautiful last race. I think he came in P3 or P4, one of those, but he is an absolutely bloody good driver. And I normally hate the Belgian drivers, but some of them are very good. The Dutch and Germans will understand why I said that. It's not the whole of any program, it's the truth. Most Belgian drivers aren't that good. But this one is. As you can see, he's in P4, standing alongside of the fastest drivers of Jack Smith, Vladislav Muchilienko, David Beckman in the alongside in the podium spots. 5 minutes left of practice. Very close to the wall, Jeff Jacobs. And he goes for an out lap. And he is at a 1 minute 34.385. David Beckman just improved. Excuse me, I'm having a conversation with Race Control. Yes, I understood. I would like to inform the viewers to please like and subscribe to our channel. Every little helps. We're trying to grow as much as possible and trying to reach as much people around the world. Mission spin now in P10 in a 1 minute 36.465. Ha 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 ha. I am so sorry. It's just the irony. The name, the spin, it's the best thing ever. I am actually wearing a Ferrari t-shirt as I'm commentating right now. But that was just way too beautiful to see. Sorry, it's terrible to spin, but come on. You call yourself Mission Spin Out and you spin. I think this is the first time Mission Spin Out has just spun this year. Yes, it is. I think it is. Mission Spin Out doesn't improve on his lap time, obviously, because he spun. Jua Tambwe, somewhere, is in P6 comfortably, and surprisingly that's quite good for a newcomer. Jack Smith in a 1 minute 32.73. Jack Smith has just improved his lap time with a 1 minute 32.73. What the bloody hell has just happened with this driver? David Beckman obviously struggling in P3 to at least improve some of his lap times. Vladislav Michulienko only with up to 0.2 of a second slower than Jack Smith. I think that was Sneaky Panda over there, who's just gone off onto the gravel. Very glowing brakes into turn 9 and 10. I don't know how he manages to keep that car under control coming out of there. That's Mission Spinout spinning again in the background. How ironic. That's very interesting. Jack Smith apparently applies a slow and fast out technique, famously known or told by Jackie Stewart, by exiting turn 11 and 12, which is very, very hard to grasp because you want to go fast everywhere, but he just manages to do that every time and time again. That's very consistent. I would love to see that guy on an actual car. Does he improve? No, he does not. He's about 1.2 seconds. Still not a problem because he is in P1 anyway. Vladislav Michulienko by 0.187 seconds off of the leader. 1 minute left of practice, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to inform you that we'll be having interviews after the practice, so keep on watching. Very wide on the exit, Vladislav Michulienko. I think he really wants that exit. Really wants that P1, so he can show everyone that he actually has something to show, something to prove in qualifying. He's very wide on the exit of turn 10. Slow and fast out. There is a driver in front. Is he going to move out of the way quickly enough? Did that affect Vladislav Michulienko's lap time? It did. I've just heard of race control that it just did. I think either a penalty or a reprimand will be handed over to the driver who just ruined the lap of Vladislav Michulienko. We'll be reading that after the race. Maybe by some grip penalty or by 5-second penalty or anything like that, or a stop and go penalty for the next race or this race. Jack Smith trying to exit that corner as clean and crisp as possible. Just listen to his throttle application through turn 11 and 12. Just listen to it. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, practice is over. We are going over to interviews in the next channel. Just stay with us and see you in interviews. Jack Smith.
Hello.
The P1 sitter in practice. This is the first time actually we had a second practice coming in, because a lot of drivers were actually struggling with this track. How difficult was it to get the first position here?
Well, if I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't actually done much practice. I've only started practicing about an hour and a half ago, but Imola's always a tricky track, and this setup we're running on the cars now is a bit stiff, so one wrong movement with the steering wheel, you'll be going over curbs and stuff, you can't be bouncing everywhere, so you've got to be on it to get up there, especially to the 32s. It's just, yeah.
You try to just make the suspension a bit softer, soften up the anti-roll bars.
Yep, I would if the if the setup wasn't fixed, but we made do what we got. So
yeah, the reason why was to try to keep this as equal as possible for everyone. But well, it was a beautiful lap, and it was a very big enjoyment to see you going around the track. Because going through 11 and 12 and turn 9 and 10 was very difficult for any other driver, but you just managed it to keep it smooth as possible. Very
Yep.
best of luck in qualifying, and see you there.
Thanks, man.
Welcome along to qualifying of the Ace Racing League Imola Grand Prix. You can see the drivers leaving the pits and trying to get some temperatures into the tires. Vladislav Michelenko was in P2 in practice. Maybe he can improve on his lap times in qualifying and probably grab that pole position. But he has a lot of competition on his hands anyway, because he has Jack Smith and David Beckman, who are absolutely stunning drivers, trying to get that pole position from him as well. I think those other two drivers are probably sandbagging at the moment, but you never know. You never know. I think he tried to do an overtaking move right there. Cheeky bastard. Oh, and somebody has gone off, but he manages to catch it. That was beautiful to see. To be fairly honest, that was actually very beautiful. Coming on the exit of turn 11 and 12, trying to do his very best to keep that car under control when exiting. You could see him leaving the entire competition in the rear. Very hard on those incredible brakes into the left-hander of turn 14 and 15. I think that's exiting turn 15. Almost going onto the gravel right there. And DRS open as he goes along into the flying lap. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The flying lap of Vladislav Michelenko has just started, closing up the DRS, trying to stay as very close as possible to the to the apex of turn 2 and 3, exiting turn 4 very beautifully. Turn 5 and 6, car twitching everywhere, but he managed to keep it under control. Into turn 7 as quickly as possible, as the brakes try to cool down as much as possible when he has applied the brakes before the corner. Very, very far away on the right side when entering turn 8 at Piratella. And here we have the penultimate corner called Acqua Minerali. Ooh! Almost losing it right there, but manages to keep it under control. Very fast on the exit. Car twitching everywhere, as we just heard. Ooh, a bit of oversteer, but he manages to catch it. As we come down now to turn 13, which opens up into turn 14, which is a very far left-hander. A 90-degree turn coming over into another 90-degree turn. And what will it be, ladies and gentlemen? What kind of lap time will we be seeing? Is it a 1 minute 33, 32, 34? And I realise I've been commentating an entire outlap. But never mind. Into turn 1 and 2 while exiting turn 3 and 4. Behind him is the practice leader, Jack Smith, who has just put down a 1 minute 33.445. Stijn Prins coming into a 1 minute 34.09. Luca Den Hartog puts down a 1 minute 36.358. On board now with Jack Smith, who has just won the Silverstone Grand Prix of last race. Which he has done absolutely beautifully with a beautiful storm through the field. Manages, I don't know how he does it, but he manages to keep going in turn 9 and 10 as smooth as possible. Coming close to turn 13, which opens up into turn 14, called Rivatsa. Afterwards into turn 15, which is another 90-degree left-hander. You would want to be as very close to the apex of turn 15. Is he going to improve on his lap time, ladies and gentlemen? Vladislav Michulienko has just went off, but he goes quicker. By 0.4 of a second quicker. Jack Smith takes provisional pole of Vladislav Michulienko. There is a driver on the side of the road at turn 3. Back along with the midfielder Nikolai Nagelvoort, who is just coming on into turn 14 and 15. Opening up very wide and going as fast as possible into turn, 16. Was it going to be a 1 minute 36.009 in P4? Back to Luca Den Hartog. In the uprising of turn 7, glowing brake discs as beautiful as possible. Eight minutes and 45 seconds left of qualifying. Back into turn 9 and 10. He's going very fast. Is he going to manage? Yes, he does. As he brakes quite vigorously into turn 10. Vladislav Michulienko goes on to provisional pole position in a 1 minute 32.578. Back to Luca Den Hartog. Trying to go as fast as possible into turn 13 as he brakes very hard for turn 14 and 15. Downshifting into turn 15 is going as quickly as possible into the next corners. Turn 16 coming up. Takes P5 and improves his lap time with a 1 minute 34.720. Stein Prince goes into P3 and a 1 minute 33.448. Here along with the Dutchman. Exiting turn 7 beautifully with the Tag Heuer livery. Sadly, we are not sponsored by Tag Heuer, but it would be very beautiful if Tag Heuer would love to sponsor us like Formula 1. We are closing up onto the penultimate corner of turn 11 and 12. Is he going to manage? He does not spin and goes very wide, but still beautifully makes it out of turn 11 and 12. Staying as close as possible to turn 13, onto the back, braking into turn 14 and 15. Bit of lock up over there, onto the left-hander called Rivatsa. Exiting turn 15. Is he going to manage? I've just been informed by race control that this is an outlap and I shouldn't get my hopes up too early. And yes, it is. I'd like to inform all our 10 viewers to please like and subscribe to our channel because every little helps, and please share with all your friends on Instagram, Facebook. Look at Den Hartog improve his laptop by 1 minute 34.366. Jack Smith in a 1 minute 33.056. Stein Prince coming close to a... and they make contact! They made contact with... Jack Smith has just made contact with the back marker over there. And another terrible, terrible incident over there. Jack Smith has a lot on his hands to improve his lap time again. What a terrible, terrible crash. Back to Vladislav Michulienko, who's coming into a flying lap right now. Very hard into the brakes onto the left-hander of turn 14 and 15. He's just done a lap. Is he going to improve his lap time and take provisional pole even further from Jack Smith and Stein Prince? I've just been informed by race control that this is another slow lap. I hope that the next lap that we will see will be a flying lap. Vladislav Michelenko going along now for a flying lap. A bit of lock up over there into turn 2 and 3. Exiting turn 4 as beautifully as possible. As you can see some onboard footage, there it is, coming into turn 5 and 6 of Villeneuve. Staying very hard onto the brakes into the exit of turn 6. Coming close to turn 7. Very, very long left-hander, but very difficult to get right. We'd see the technique of Vladislav Michelenko that he likes to stay on the very, there you see it, on the very right side when he enters turn 8. You can see the car jumping over there onto the grass before entering turn 9. Is it going to infect his entrance on turn 10? No, it does not, but he goes off, but still manages to keep onto the track. I just wonder how he'll be handling turn 11 and 12 with a bit of debris on his tires. A slower middle sector. I don't think he'll improve his lap time because that lap was quite sloppy. Spit off flame of the exhaust into turn 14 and 15. And here he goes, flat on the power. Sadly, he does not improve on his lap time. Back to Maxim Badidi, who is still on his out lap. He's going to go for a final lap right now. T-minus 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Into the long left-hander of turn 4 and 1 and 2, and he spins it. He has spun it. He tried to correct it, but it wasn't enough. Drivers coming through that at way too fast speeds. He has to get out of there as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it will be very dangerous for other drivers to put down a lap. You can see it right there. A driver just went off because Maxim Badidi didn't get out of the way quick enough. Jeff Jacobs goes into P2 by only half a second slower from Vladislav Michelenko. Jeff Jacobs, here we are with the young Belgian into the left-hander of turn 4 called Tamburello. Leaning hard on those incredible brakes, and he goes off into the gravel. He has lost it on the bump of turn 6, and his lap is just ruined, ladies and gentlemen. You could see any tiny mistake, any single twitch, and this track just bites back. Here we have David Beckman, the young Monaco pole position holder, going as fast as possible, trying to go into the left-hander right there, into the right-hander at turn 6. He doesn't get onto the curves, but he almost got on the gravel. He tries to stay as far as the right as possible into turn 7. Beautifully done. Coming up into turn 8, is he going to adapt the same technique as Vladislav Michelenko, staying very far right? Yes, he does, for a very long, deep apex. Into turn 9, which opens up into turn 10. Bit of twitching over there, but he still manages to stay very cleanly into turn 10. Is he going to improve his first sector? No, he's slower than 1.6 seconds. $50 seconds left. Backman, is he going to improve on his lap time? My screen has just went black, but sadly he is all the way in P7. Oh, yes he is. David Beckman in P7. Back to Stein Prince, who is the P2 position holder. Ooh, very wide on the exit of turn 15, but is he going to manage to stay very hard on the throttle with DRS open? Is he going to improve? No, he does not. I've just seen his time, and he does not improve on his lap time. Qualifying is over. Are there any drivers left who are completing their lap? I think it's Stein Prince, who has just went over the line when qualifying was over, when the time limit was reached. Is he going to improve his lap time or probably take provisional pole position from Vladislav Michulienko? Into turn 7, the driver over there having a bit of oversteer, as it seemed, but trying to stay as clean as possible and out of the way of other drivers. I think he might have a slipstream as we go on board into turn 8. Here's the part where every driver tries to get it right and possibly gets it wrong. Into turn 10, we see a driver over there. It's Mr. Spinner, and it's just gone off, and it's all over. Stein Prince will stay in P2 as it is right now, if there is no other driver who will. Jack Smith has just went off, and that means that Vladislav Michulienko's also spun around. What is going on? It was just total mayhem in the last lap of qualifying. You could see a driver over there slowing down. Right, that was a terrible and horrific last lap of qualifying. The race will start in 1 minute. There will be no interviews. See you there. Joe. Oh God. Right, here we have the countdown of the race has just been ended. Pole position holder is Vladislav Michulienko. P2 goes to excuse me, I'm lost for words. I am lost for words. Stein Prince, P3 went to Jack Smith, and behind him was, I think it looks like, who is that? Never mind. 26 T minus 25 seconds left of race start. Seconds. Lights appearing on the screen. 10 seconds left. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights. Lights out, and away we go. Vladislav Michulienko has a beautiful start right there and keeps the competition right behind him. But Stein Prince trying to challenge to stay into his slipstream and stay very close to him. Probably do an overtake into the first corner, but it's very not wise to do that. And he still stays onto it and stays behind Vladislav Michulienko. Behind him, behind Stijn Prince, we can see that Jack Smith trying to do his very best to get past him. Into David Backman has just crashed. I've just heard from race control that David Backman has just crashed and is all the way back in P17. Excuse me. On board now with Jack Smith, who's battling right now for the P2 of Stijn Prince, trying to get as much as possible from that podium spot. Is he going to go through the outside of turn 9? No, he does not. He stays smart and probably go for the DRS overtake onto the exit. And both drivers manage to stay as clean as possible through there. It's the first time I see anyone not spinning over into turn 10, back into the penultimate corner of turn 11 and 12. Very, very close to each other. Some outside footage, and now back to onboard footage of Jack Smith trying to go through the DRS overtake. Is he going to manage and stay close to Stijn Prince? Hard on the brakes and into the left-hander. Ooh, and he's just went off. Stijn Prince has just went off and he has just spun. There appears to be a curse. No, it doesn't. No, he isn't. Stijn Prince has not spun. But he's still there. He's still there. He just had a massive oversteer. Sadly, we can't replay the footage right now. That means that Jeff Jacobs has just went into P3. Jeff Jacobs trying to stay as close as possible to Jack Smith, who's in front of him. It's very difficult for me to keep those names away, apart from each other, but there is the newcomer whose name I can't pronounce. In P4, trying to stay very close to Jeff Jacobs and Stijn Prince. Jack Smith, excuse me. There we go. I do it again. Lap 3 is when DRS will be activated for all drivers who are in 1 second of each other. You can see the lap times on the left when the drivers are at least 1 second in between of one another. Here we are in the midfield, who having a train wreck of a race right there. Everything is going mayhem. Loads of pressure for the other drivers. Locking up over there. Oh, and they just went off and it's a crash. A very horrific crash right there. And that means that Martinez has just went into the distance, and Noah Schneider there as well. I don't know who has caused that crash, but oh my god, what an incident! What a horrific incident! And that is Vladislav Michilienko! Safety car is deployed in this lap. Ladies and gentlemen, safety car has to be deployed into this lap. That is Noah Schneider right there. I think that was Noah Schneider who is in that incident. Vladislav Michilienko, the screen. I'd like to inform you that my screen has just informed me that the driver who was following Vladislav Michilienko, but it was not. Vladislav just put down the fastest lap. But I think that was Noah Schneider who has just went off and spun over there. There will be a safety car deployed into this lap. That was the most horrific crash I've ever seen. Thank God this is just a simulation. I'd like to inform race control to re-inform me what they just said. If we can hear some information of race control when the safety car is ending. Lap 5 is the lap where the safety car will be ending, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the drivers weaving to keep at least some temperatures into the tires. to the turn 11 and 12 Variante Alta, which means we are only 5 corners away of the end of the safety car. You can see the drivers trying to stay with heated tires, with hot temperatures. Safety car ending this lap. And we are back racing. Vladislav Michelienko trying to stay as far as possible from Jack Smith, but he's probably going to go for an overtake through the outside. And is he going to do it into turn 1 and 2? Yes, he does! Jack Smith goes on into P1. Is he going to be re-overtaken by Vladislav through the outside again? What a battle we have on our hands. Side by side are going through into turn 5 and 6. And that means that Vladislav goes in front. But Jeff Jacobs trying to stay very close to Jack Smith. Well, he's trying to go very close to each other. Is there another DRS zone coming up? Because we might see some overtaking done right there. He is in his slipstream. They're braking very hard into the into the left-hander. I hope there is not another train wreck into turn 9 and 10. Thank God there isn't for the front row. The midfield right now trying to do their best as well. Very hard on the power. Here we come up to the penultimate corner of 11 and 12. They managed to keep it as clean as possible. But it is Vladislav Michelienko who still stays in front with a beautiful re-overtake at turn 5. Back to Stijn Prins in P5, who's only less than a second away of the newcomer. DRS is activated. Stijn Prins has just went into P4 as Jeff Jacobs has went into the pits for fresher rubber. He's coming very close to the newcomer. Is he going to go for an overtake? Excuse me for that. No, but he still manages to stay close to him. Very hard on the exit of turn 5 and 6. And we're going to see some overtaking done by the end of turn 8. On following Ruben Martinez with a very busy midfield. Into the right-hander right there. But he has Arno de Swart in front of him. Is he going to go for the overtake any moment now? No, he does not. Into turn 7, Tossa. He is in his slipstream. He has the better exit. Is he going to go for the overtake? They are very close to each other. Some onboard footage right there. And he just went into the grass. Ruben Martinez has lost it under the pressure. He's going to go on the track. Luckily, he does not hit anyone. Thank God for that. And he has just got hit by someone. Or he has just had a massive oversteer. I didn't see that. I just saw someone coming very close to his rear view mirror. Stijn Prins trying to stay as close as possible to the newcomer. Very hard on the power. He has DRS. He might go for the overtake right now. If you can see some outside footage of probably some overtaking. Vladislav Michelienko just puts down the fastest lap of 1 minute 33.685. Is it gonna happen? No, it isn't. The newcomer's staying in front. Only half a second between those two drivers. What a battle we have on our hands. Exiting turn 5 and 6 when they come up to turn 7. Ooh, very close to each other. Still very hard onto the power. Trying to do his absolute best to stay close to the newcomer in front. Into the corner of turn 9 and 10. Oh, someone has just went off. I think that is, if Race Control could repeat that name. Oh, he's just went almost for the over. Hesselverheijen has just went off, and the battle between Steinprinz and the newcomer is still there. If we could have race control repeat that name for me, I'll write that down immediately. Juatambwe. Steinprinz and Juatambwe trying to stay as close as possible. Jack Smith that just went for the fastest lap. I don't know how much the margin is between Jack Smith and Vladislav Muchilienko. Jack Smith has just overtaken Vladislav Muchilienko, but we could see an overtake any moment now. Right now, is it gonna happen? No! Very brave defense by Juatambwe. But Steinprinz is not someone who who gives up that easily. Vladislav Muchilienko and Jack Smith very close to each other in front. But we are staying with the battle of P3. Steinprinz is getting closer and closer to Juatambwe by the lap. Into turn 9 and 10. Who's gonna screw up over here? Ooh, very close. He almost rammed into the back of Juatambwe, but into the penultimate corner of turn 11 and 12. Only half a second, or a bit more than half a second between the two. Here we have it. Is it gonna happen? DRS is gonna open about this moment. He's coming close by a second to Juatambwe. He puts that at 1 minute 34 lap time. He's coming close. He's coming closer by the second. They're about to break. Who's gonna break later? Ooh, it isn't Steinprinz, sadly. But he is still close to him. I think he made a mistake in the end stages of the lap. I think he will retry to do that lap at the end of it. Into turn 5 and 6 at the exit of Villeneuve. Juatambwe apparently has the better exit. What a drive from the newcomer. Only half a second between Stein and Jua. Here we have the battle for the first position of Vladislav Muchilienko and Steinprinz as they come into turn 9 and 10. Very hard. Jack Smith and Vladislav Muchilienko for the first position. As they come up to the penultimate corner into the right-hander, somebody's just locked up over there, but but both drivers still manage to stay on to the power. They are just swapping ends all the time right now. This is what racing is all about. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Some drivers just went off over there. I have no information who that is, but it's at the moment it's between Vladislav Muchilienko and Jack Smith. He has the DRS. Both drivers have DRS open right now. But Vladislav Muchilienko is coming closer by the second. Who's going to break later into turn 2 and 3? Is it going to be Vladislav? Ooh, almost rams into the back of Jack Smith, but they still manage to stay into the corners of turn 4 and 5 very smoothly. Turn 5 and 6, Villeneuve coming up. He's coming closer by the second. He's going to go through the inside. No! But still beautifully done. Jeff Jacobs has put down the fastest lap of a 1 minute 33.225. Oh my god! Is he going to do it? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Vladislav Muchilienko is going to go through the outside. And now into the inside of turn 8. Is he going to manage? Oh, they're side by side. You could fit a cigarette paper through there. Vladislav Muchilienko's just taken P1 from Jack Smith. I've never been more exciting about a race like that. In the back, we have Steinprinz and Juatambwe still going right at it. Steinprinz still trying his very best to stay, trying to get close as possible to Juatambwe. But if we could go back to Vladislav Muchilienko and Jack Smith, it is still one hell of a battle. Here we have it. Jack Smith might get the DRS opening right now and stay as close as possible to Vladislav Matviyenko. He might have a shot at this. He's closing up by much faster as Vladislav just did. He's going to go through the inside, outside. Yes, he does. Beautifully done between the two race leaders. Between the race leader. A bit of oversteer from Jack Smith, but Vladislav is right on his tail. And that means that Vladislav Matviyenko almost goes for the overtake at turn 5 and 6. There is a driver who's just went off over there and tries to go back on the track almost in reverse, but luckily does not. Ooh! Matviyenko almost drives into the back of Smith. But he is into his slipstream. Is he going to manage? Is he going to go through the inside of turn 8? He is wise and does not, because that was way too dangerous. Here we are into the right-handers of turn 9 and 10. Who's it going to be? Who's going to get the better exit of it? But almost into turn 11 and 12. Very hard breaking into the two corners of 11 and 12 as he goes into full power mode. Into turn 14 and 15. What an amazing drive here he is. He's going to open up his DRS at the moment, and that means both drivers pit. What an interesting tactic right there. Both drivers are pitting. That was so close to the barrier. Absolutely close. Very interesting tactic between the two. If we could go back to Juatambwe and Stein Prince right now, who are still... and he is just overtaken Juatambwe. Stein Prince has had in the last few laps so much difficulty trying to overtake Juatambwe, but he's finally done it. And that means that Stein Prince is leading, ladies and gentlemen. And he's just went off onto the gravel. And that means that Juatambwe leading in the San Marino Grand Prix. Driver over there almost getting onto the gravel, but Juatambwe is leading the San Marino Grand Prix. I think we have a battle between Jeff Jacobs and Matviyenko at P6 and 7. These two drivers are still very close to each other. Hessel Vergeijen has just went off, and there is absolute mayhem at the back. Absolute chaos. I don't know what to say about this. This is just pure amateur driving. What is happening at the back of the field? I just hope these drivers do not interfere in the drivers who are actually performing this race. Matviyenko. Back to Matviyenko, who's closing up into Jack Smith for P5. They're coming very close to Nicolai Nagelvoort, who's in front, but both drivers have the DRS and the better exit. Beautifully lets the other drivers through. He has the DRS, but Nicolai Nagelvoort still trying to do his absolute best. Almost wraps it to the back of him, but manages to stay away from it. This could have almost been, very good save right there. That was a beautiful overtake of Nicolai Nagelvoort. And Jeff Jacobs has this... I've just been informed by race control that Nicolai Nagelvoort has just crashed and went possibly into the gravel. I do not see David Beckman in the leaderboards right now. I'd like to see where he is at the moment. I've just been informed that David Beckman has left the race, possibly to do with something. Sadly, that is. I am informed that he was crashed in the first lap And after that, there was no hope anymore, as it seems, and he has just left the race. Jua Tambwe leading the race with a 13-second lead of Maxim Badidi, who's in P2. Jack Smith puts down the fastest lap of a woman in 32.544. Only 10 more laps left of the San Marino Grand Prix. If Jua Tambwe can manage on those tyres for 10 more laps, that means we have a brand new winner of the Ace Racing League Championship. I think Jeff Jacobs and Vladislav Myshlienko are getting quite close to each other. Jack Smith has is just between a half a second as close to Maxim Badidi, who is in front. If we could go over to them right now. There it is. The overtake of P2, very close to each other. He's probably going to go through the outside. He has the DRS. There he is, overtaken. Jack Smith is leading the race as Jua Tambwe has just went into the pits. As I have predicted, closing up the DRS on the very last moment. Very hard on the power onto the exit. You could see the difference between the exit of Maxim Badidi and Jack Smith as he enters turn 5 and 6. Coming up now into turn 7. Maxim Badidi went a bit on the grass over there. And within a few corners, Jack Smith is almost by a second away of Maxim Badidi. Into turn 9 and 10. As smoothly as ever can be. Arnold de Zwart and who's that? Oh, Vladislav Myshlienko coming very close to Maxim Badidi, who it is right there. He's going to go through the inside, and he does. What? Wow, that was beautifully done. I thought he was going to go onto the gravel right there. But no. And this could possibly mean that Jack Smith and Vladislav Myshlienko still could be battling for the lead of the race. Mahai Badita within a second close to Arnaud de Zwart, who is in front of him. They are half a second to each other. This could mean an absolute battle of an overtake. Ooh, a bit of oversteer right there. I think his tires are almost done. I think he has to pit, if he hasn't pitted. Into turn 9 and 10 as he goes. Is he going to go through the... Yes, he still manages to stay as beautiful as possible on the track. You might see him overtaken by any moment now onto the straight. And he's just went off onto the gravel. He had it all. He only had to do a DRS overtake, but he didn't. And he has to let Jack Smith by. I think he was weaving over there. No. He has let Jack Smith by. And that means that Vladislav Muchalenko is as close as can ever be to Jack Smith. Oh my god! There is contact! Jack Smith has just went off! And that means that Vladislav Muchalenko is leading! There will be a serious inquisition on that driver who's just caused that incident. Because he has to let the faster driver through. Race control, we could have some information on who that was. We at the moment have no idea who that was, but there will be a serious talk in the room when this race ends, because this was a serious change in the rules in the race. Jack Smith gonna go for the overtake of Jeff Jacobs, who's right in front of him. He has the DRS. Is it gonna go through the inside? No, he does not, but still manages to stay close to Jeff Jacobs, who's in front of him. There are only half a second between each other. He's still in the slipstream. Is he going to go for the overtake through 5 and 6? No. But still manages to stay as close as possible. And Jeff Jacobs has just went off. Jack Smith is in P2. Is he going to manage to do a 6 and 6 lap? Come close to Vladislav Muchalenko, who's right there, and take the win. We have an absolute battle on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. You can see Jack Smith trying to do his absolute best to stay close, just shorten every time he has. Just come close to Vladislav Muchalenko. 6 laps left of the San Marino Grand Prix. I think he might do it because Jack Smith has won the Silverstone Grand Prix with an absolute amazing chart through the field. And if there's one thing Jack Smith is good at, it's closing up time. Jack Smith has just put down the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 32.506. Back here with Luca Den Hartog, who is in the midfield trying to take that P7 of the other drivers. He's only 1 second behind him. DRS is about to open right now. You can see the drivers trying to pull as much as slipstream as possible. Is he going to go for the overtake at the moment into turn 2 and 3 of Arnold de Swart? Is he going to go through the inside? No! Oh, very close. But he had no chance at any moment because there was a driver in front of both of them, and any mistake would have been fatal. But he's only 2/10 of a second behind Arnaud de Swart. We could see an overtake by any moment now into turn 7 as they go. Only a second between the two drivers, only half a second between the drivers. He's in a slipstream. Is he going to go for the inside or the outside of turn 8? Yes! And still does this old switcheroo. He has gone off, and look at Den Hartog with an absolutely beautiful overtake. Goes into P8. A bit of lockup over there, but look at us, Arnold de Swart behind him. Just still can't manage to believe in himself. Vladislav Muchalenko has just went on into the fastest lap of the race in the 1 minute 32.471. Back to Vladislav only 4 laps left of the race, and he has won the San Marino Grand Prix. This is going to be an absolutely amazing. I think this is going to be an absolutely thrilling end. Bit of locking up of Vladislav over there. I think the pressure is building up. Ooh, the car's twitching everywhere. This is the race between Vladislav Michelienko, Jack Smith. Left. Vladislav Michelienko puts down the fastest lap of 1 minute 32.397. Trying to do his absolute best to just stay as far away as possible from Jack Smith. Jack Smith back on board to him as he does his absolute best to stay close and get closer and closer to the race leader. Only 3 laps left of the San Marino Grand Prix. Listen to that engine going through turn 11 and 12. Back to the race leader. Only 2 laps remaining after San Marino Grand Prix. And Vladislav Michelienko will have finally won a race after a while. He hasn't won in Vallelunga, he hasn't won in Silverstone, but this might be it. This might be the race where Vladislav Michelienko will extend his lead in the championship. Ooh, a bit of oversteer over there, but still very beautifully catches it as he exits turn 11 and 12, coming into turn 14 and 15. Turn 13 is actually between turn 13 and turn 12 and 14, but it's so ever so slightly you can't even see it. Here we go, exiting turn 15 by coming in into second to last lap of the San Marino Grand Prix. You can see the car jumping as it comes over the start-finish straight. What has happened to Jack Smith? Because he was on a 3-second gap and now he's up to a 5-second gap. I think he just went off onto the gravel trying to improve his lap times. But you can see Vladislav Michelienko also struggling with his tires. I think this track is just very, very demanding on the tires. exiting turn 15 for the final lap of the San Marino Grand Prix. It's Jack Smith in the background he tried to do his absolute best to come close to Vladislav Michelyenko, but it didn't go the way of the Briton. As he enters turn 2 and 3 and 4 for the last time of the race, the leader is on final lap, as it says on the top of the screen. Entering turn 4 and 5 and 6. The importance of this lap is just to stay consistent. He doesn't need to make a mistake at the moment. There is a back marker in the front. I hope he is appearing to go to the left, to the right to let the race leader through. And he does. That was beautifully done. The race leader is about to enter the last sector of the race into turn 9 and 10 as beautifully as possible. As you can see right there, Jack Smith in the background he tried to do his absolute best, but still, what an amazing race we had between Vladislav Michelyenko and Jack Smith. Props to the both of them. Entering turn 13 and 14, which opens up into turn 15. On to the last two corners of the race. And here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. 24 laps and an absolutely beautiful battle. Vladislav Michelyenko wins the Ace Racing League Imola Grand Prix. Jack Smith in second, and that means that it's Jeff Jacobs in P3. He has done absolutely wonderful in the race. He struggled in qualifying, he struggled in practice between the other drivers, but it was so beautiful. Vladislav Michelyenko absolutely deserves this win. He has absolutely done it. Jua Tambwe, the newcomer, in a beautiful P4. Stein Prince in P5. As you can see, Jua Tambwe very happy to be in P4 as the newcomer. Stein Prince in P5. Absolutely amazing done. He has just crashed himself. Stein Prince has crashed himself. I think he's quite furious because I think could have done any better. Nick Leinach. And we'll be going over into interviews by the moment. See you there. Vladislav Michelyenko, congratulations on the win of the Imola Grand Prix. How do you feel, man?
I don't know, mixed feelings.
Yes, because you did have an absolutely beautiful battle between Jack Smith. How was that? How much pressure was on you?
Like, I was trying to just focus and try to force him into a mistake, but yeah, I started really good, but then the safety car came, so he closed up on me, and the DRS was just overpowered. He just flew past me on the straight with the DRS.
Yes.
And then I tried to make an undercut, but he went into the pits too, so it didn't really work out for me. And
I was actually on board with Jack Smith as you entered the pits, and there was seriously 1 centimeter between the barrier and Jack Smith as you entered the pits. It was so close.
yeah, I accidentally missed the pit box in the pit, so I lost like I don't know, I think 1 or 2 seconds. So I was then like 2 seconds behind him. I was starting to make a lot of mistakes because I was frustrated about the mistake in the pits, and yeah, then someone crashed him out. So I don't know what was that about.
Well, at least you won the race. Well, congratulations on that. Thank you for that amazing battle between Jack Smith, and I hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Jack Smith in P2.
Hello there.
Thank you. First of all, what an absolutely beautiful battle that was between you and Vladislav Michelyenko.
Yeah, that was really fun.
we were just going along about that pit box, because that's where the undercut. He tried to do an undercut at you, but you were so close to the barriers as you
Yep.
wanted to follow him into the pits. Because I almost jumped out of my chair. What was that all about?
I tried to dummy him, so I got to go in the pits and he didn't. So I sort of stayed to the left, and then before I came in, or just before I came in, I switched right to the right. So I went into the pit lane, and I looked behind me, and he didn't seem to do it, and then all of a sudden he turned in as well. But that was just an attempt to get an undercut on him. Luckily, in the pit lane, I think I stopped much earlier and got a better exit as well. So I gained like 8, 9 tenths in the pit lane just by the start and the stop in the pits. So that went really well. Yeah.
Well, it was at least an absolutely awesome battle, an absolutely awesome Grand Prix, and I'm happy for you that you at least finished in P2 because, well, he said he had mixed feelings about the win because you had a crash or something.
Yeah, basically I came down into 10 and 11 and there's just a car stopped in the middle of the road and I had nowhere else to go, I just went to the back of him and then, yeah, luckily I managed to get away with it with only like a yellow wing. So I didn't lose too much performance, I managed to overtake Jeff again. Started catching him up and then just the car, as the tyres went off, the front wing got worse and worse and just started losing time to him. So, yep, either of us could have won that race really. It was just really good racing.
It was absolutely beautiful racing. Well, congratulations on the second position.
Thanks, man.
Have a good day and see you next race.
Yeah, you too. See you in a bit.
Jeff Jacobs, who came home in P3 it was. What a
Yeah.
beautiful race. That was beautifully done.
Yeah, thanks.
Because you had a...
P3 is my place?
Excuse me? I didn't hear you right there.
Oh,
Connection went away.
P3. P3 is my place.
Yes, very beautifully done. Because you had a battle with the other driver. Who was it? I forgot. There was the driver in front, and you tried to stay as close as possible to them in front.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, never mind. I think I've just confused you with Sam Clint.
Okay.
But it was still you were very consistent through the race.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the beginning, well, I needed to pit early, so Michelianko and Smith were battling with each other, so maybe I could catch up back again. And then when that was happening, I was consistent in the 130s, 133, sorry. But then I had a crash with another driver, and that compromised my race. Had a front wing damage. So not ideal, but for the battle.
At least you got a beautiful P3 to end up the podium.
Yeah.
Well, it was a very beautiful race. It was a very big enjoyment to see you drive. Very consistent as well. And I hope you have a lovely day and see you next race.
Okay, thanks. See you next week.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was a very pleasure to have you here today. It was an awesome battle between the two race leaders and P3. Thank you for watching with us today to see the most epic battle ever. I hope you had fun because we all today had so much fun. This was Ace Racing League, and we'll see you at the next race. Goodbye.